It's quite possible that you've already seen them. People out in public wearing what looks like futuristic ski goggles that obscure their eyes, walking in a somewhat stilted way, and as they walk, they're doing things like this, or this, or this, or this, or this, or this. Before you write them off as crazy people, you need to know that those people are participating in the future, a future that I'm fairly convinced we will all be participating in one day. Some of you already know that I'm talking about the new Apple Vision Pro. It's a new device that Apple has launched, which resembles ski goggles, but is actually the most sophisticated virtual reality glasses anybody has ever invented. It has solved many of the problems that virtual reality glasses have had, like potential movement disorientation, motion sickness, and also not being able to see the world around you while you're wearing them. I've seen those fail videos where people wearing virtual reality sets crash into the door or crash into the TV because as they're playing a game, they can't see what's really in front of them. These new devices designed by Apple enable the wearer to actually see the environment around them, and it merges into that environment what we would normally see on our cell phones. So as the person is sitting out in public, they can see their apps. By moving their hand, they can connect with the image and make the image open up. They can produce a virtual keyboard and type on that keyboard. And even though looking at that person, it's obvious they don't have a keyboard in front of them, in the virtual glasses with its multiple cameras, it's picking up the hand movement, it's picking up the placement of the digital keyboard, and it's registering what that person is typing. I don't anticipate we're going to see an enormous amount of these out in public, primarily because they're very, very expensive. All in, they're over $5,000. But the thing that's fascinating is within 12 hours of the release of the device, people who had pre-ordered them were already out on the streets using them. And the thing that I was startled by was not just the sophistication of this technology, but it was how nonchalant the people around them were. There were a lot of curious looks. When people did approach someone with a pair of Vision Pro goggles on, they did so with great admiration and envy. But nobody was in any way concerned about the possibility that these people with these devices were filming them. The reason I say that is that Google came up with a device called Google Glasses over a decade ago, and they ended up abandoning the project because of such negative response from the public. One person wearing them actually got punched in San Francisco when they walked into a room because of privacy concerns. Apparently, that's evaporated. Apparently, we're not concerned about those things anymore. Apparently, because everyone has a camera in their hands, if they have their phone, people have normalized the probability of people capturing you wherever you are. Now, that to me is a minor consideration. The bigger one is this. One of the early reviewers, a gentleman on the internet who apparently has quite a following, was dazzled by the technology. In fact, he said in his video, "I have been waiting for a device like this." And he said, holding up the goggles, "These are very crude. And in fact, I believe in the future will be considered the worst version of this technology." Because he predicted, I think rightly so, that eventually they will, just like the cell phones did, become an easily managed small device. He suggested a pair of eyeglasses like mine that you will put on in the morning, and as a result of wearing them, be able to take calls, be able to type, be able to look on the internet because of the screen on your glasses. doing exactly what this goggle device does now. And he predicted it in the future. We wouldn't see laptops, cell phones, or even computers. We would just see everybody wearing glasses, living in this merged world where what is real, the people that we see, the scenery around us, will merge with our digital world. What does this mean for our future? One video I watched already expressed great concern about how this would continue to disintegrate relationships, because a reviewer talked about how within hours of wearing the glasses, he suddenly no longer felt anything strange about a screen showing a YouTube video of Mr. Beast, if anyone knows who that is, merging with someone at a Krispy Kreme donut counter giving him a donut. And it just became just totally natural. What happens when we no longer have to look at a screen or a phone in order to enter into the internet, but the internet enters into our everyday life? I don't have answers, but I do know this. It is another enormous change that we are going to have to embrace, or at least work through in education within the next 5 to 10 years. I know some of you are going like me, kind of glad I'm getting close to retirement. This is overwhelming stuff. And I believe, like all technology, this will have some redemptive uses. But I am concerned that if we get into a pattern of wearing our computers on our faces all day long, that it is going to have a significant and negative impact on our presence. If you're in a room full of people with cell phones, you know that you can probably increase attention by asking everyone to put their cell phones away. How hard will it become to do that when we're used to having those images in a pair of glasses on our head? And especially when we don't have to be looking down or looking to the side or looking to the right to look at a screen. The screen is right in front of us. So I can be looking at you directly, while in actuality I'm watching a YouTube video, or I'm checking my emails, or I'm keeping up with social media. The potential of damage to relationships is enormous. And so here's what I want to say one more time. We need to have a biblical understanding of technology. Have you done any work on that? Have you thought about the purpose of our devices and technologies? Have you begun to think about your use of technology and how you can use it as a tool and not look at it as a solution to a deep life problem that will save you from that problem? Because if that's the way you think, I'm concerned that that technology, like others, is going to turn your life in a more negative direction. And of course, what does this do to our children? I from all the research I know, giving a pair of glasses like this to a toddler, to a primary kid, even to a kid in general, could have profound damaging impacts. Things are moving so fast, but we can't ignore them. We can't bury our head. We have to understand. Then we have to think about how to use these things redemptively. And one thing I will say is that we will have to not wear them all day. Because already these Google glasses that are specifically supposed to be used indoors are being used by people driving their cars, people eating out at restaurants. Some people are boasting that they kept them on for 72 hours nonstop. Like, it's already happening. And they're saying, this is an incredible life experience. It's changing everything for me. This is already happening. So we've got to prepare for the day when everybody can afford it, when they're so small that everyone can wear it, and where all of a sudden the internet is literally in our face all day long and into the night. Some things for you to think about this month.